Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Bill and Kelly Show, early morning show. Got a lot of things to cover with you, a lot of things happening next couple of days. First of all, and make sure everything's okay. All right. First of all, I'm going to go over the crazy weather that you guys all you do is have to look out the window, right? Yeah, I warned you guys about this. So here's what it is. So here's what it looked like before the rain started coming down just moments ago. And yeah, so it was really overcast. I knew this was going to hit. We knew this was either going to hit tonight or today. So it looked like it was kind of slow in getting here. So here's the outlook. Today, as you just look out the window, right? Today is rain, mainly this morning. And then into the evening, we'll have some severe thunderstorms. So keep a lookout for that because some of these, as you know, during spring can cause some severe activity, maybe even a tornado. So keep your eyes out for that. And I'll show you a specific warning the National Weather Service put out for this area. Tomorrow, overcast, breezy. High of 76, so the temperature won't be that bad, but just very few sun rays coming through. And then the evening, 54. The weekend is not looking all that great. It looks like we're going to be mostly rainy both Saturday and Sunday. Temperature is not going to be bad, 75 on Saturday, dropping down to 62 in the evening. And then Sunday, 73 during the day, and 52 in the evening, but a good chance of showers and thunderstorms. Clearing up on Monday, 54 to 66. So let's look at that special warning that for tonight mainly, because this is when we're going to have some severe weather come through the area. So if you look at that upper band area where it's going to be the strongest in the orange area, and then the green area less so. So right around the Chicago southern, I don't want to say mid part to southern Chicago suburbs, all the way in through northwest Indiana, throughout the Michiana area, we're going to have a high possibility of severe thunderstorms. Winds could get up from 60 to 70 miles an hour. So make sure you haul in all that patio furniture you just cleaned off and put out, or at least make sure it's secured. Not a good time to put a boat out. Let's put it that way. So I would delay any boat activity for at least another, maybe next week. To be honest with you, because we're going to be having some choppy weather out there. So let's get on the schedule today. 11 o'clock, LGBTQ in Northwest Indiana and P Flag of Crown Point TV. This is something we just started doing. We offered a platform to these groups to come on, and they're going to talk about all the issues related to these groups in the area. As you know, the LGBTQ of Northwest Indiana puts on a event every year at the Lincoln Center in Highland, and that obviously has been canceled. And so they're going to talk about some of the other functions that are coming through, and also some issues that are crucial to that community. Again, this is something I know that is great. It allows a platform for some people that really don't have a platform of their own. I know it's somewhat controversial. It shouldn't be, and I'm just going to ignore those comments that we've gotten recently. But this is something that we feel is important to this community, that they need to have some type of media platform of their own, and we're more than happy to do it. So please tune in at 11 o'clock and listen to the issues that they have to bring, and also some of the events that are going on related to these two groups. Very interesting conversation, and we'll get back to that. And then, of course, this afternoon at 2 p.m., we have Judith Joy, who is an author we've had on our show before, who has started up a series of Zoom workshops called Raising Vibrations. And she has a lot to do with looking at a positive outlook, trying to visualizing your future, if you will. And so she's asked to come back on our show, and we said more than happy to have you. So she'll be on 2 o'clock this afternoon. Then some good news, really happy news. As you know, we had a show planned to follow the mother-daughter team down Griffith as they rode their horses through Griffith. There's so many smiles that these two put on kiddos' faces and families. We invited them on. We first saw them on WGN, and ironically, WGN now uses that little spot that they did with them as a promo for their morning news team, which is kind of neat. That's always neat to see some local Northwest Indiana people getting some recognition for some of the positive things that are happening. And boy, I saw the interview and some of the videos that they post, and just the amount of smiles and the kids running out to greet them is just phenomenal. They do this a variety of different ways. They do nighttime rides. They do birthday rides. They do it all. And I happened to run across a picture of them with Batman. Yeah. Evidently, there is Batman on a tri-motor vehicle. We're going to have to hook up with him, and we're going to have some conversation with him, obviously, and my sisters know why. He does the same thing. He rides throughout Griffith and I think the Highland area and tries to put some smiles on folks' faces, so that's great. We'll have to discuss how well he knows Batman. Let's put it that way. So I think that's all. Yes, that's all I had for our schedule. Kind of neat news, regarding one of our sponsors. We have a new sponsor. I think it's kind of awesome. Yeah, one of the authors that we've had has come forward and said, I would love to sponsor you. And we said, we love to have you sponsor us. Seriously. And so, as you know, we've placed a lot of sponsors on pause during this period of time. But, she said, hey, books are the thing that are going or should be going during this period of time. And, what better way to even get them going more than sponsor our program. So we thought that was great. So I'm going to show you that because she's going to sponsor this episode. One thing I want to draw to your attention here, Kelly and I just moved to Chesterton, which is a phenomenal area, beautiful area. We loved Highland, but for various reasons, we had to move the house mainly, and just wasn't a good place for Kelly, and so we moved out here. And boy, I tell you, and I lived in Porter County for 32 years. Yeah, 32 years, because when we moved back from Texas, we moved to Valparaiso, and really enjoyed it there. But one community which is always intrigued me was Chesterton, and that's where we moved to. There is this newspaper that is produced in Chesterton, and it's very, very local, although I see now that they're covering international and national news. The Chesterton Tribune. Really, I do get a kick out of this. I really enjoy reading the Chesterton Tribune because it's full of local information. And one of the things that I saw is the town council earmarks $10,000 for business promotion. And that's one thing I've always noticed. And for those of you who are familiar with Chesterton, the downtown section is unique and vibrant. And it's all wholly, you don't find any, let's put it this way, franchise. They're all locally owned businesses. Running Vines is one of them. Octave Grill, the hamburgers at Octave Grill, right? Red Cup coffee shop, all locally owned businesses. And one of the things that that has always been of interest to me is the town council here, because I think it's made up quite a bit of local business owners. is very supportive of the business community, and so they know what's happening. It's without a debate. Some of these businesses have been hard hit. To close up and not be able to even do curbside service has been catastrophic for some. Because they still have expenses, they still have mortgages to pay, the rent to pay, and again, this is a news item that's covered in the Chesterton Tribune. Town Council earmarks $10,000 for business promotion. The Chesterton Town Council has earmarked $10,000 in credit monies for the purpose of promoting local businesses impacted by Governor Eric Holcomb's COVID-19 executive orders. And again, it's the rollout, and it's debatable. I've heard this from so many people. And you see debates going on in Illinois over Governor Pritzker's executive orders, and interesting enough, the political debate is kind of interesting in Indiana because we do have a Republican governor, but he has agreed to try to do a meaningful process that's safe for all. So, but at least when the purpose of me bringing this up is the town council has identified that we have to help our blood and our lifeblood of the community, and that's these local businesses that keep Chesterton so vibrant. To describe Chesterton is kind of unique. It's made up of both a conservative underlying, but very, very progressive. It's made up of a lot of people that commute into Chicago because of its locality to the South Shore and to the Indiana Toll Road that connects, obviously, to the Chicago Skyway. Virtually, several neighborhoods are made up of people that do nothing but commute into Chicago or Illinois. So that makeup is kind of unique. You have a lot of medical professionals here, a lot of lawyers. There's a lot of professional athletes that live in this community because it's not, the reasons are obvious, is we don't have the high tax rates that Illinois has, and the price of living is quite less expensive. So a very progressive community, and very conscious of its decisions and how it impacts businesses here. So we enjoy it here. I mean, it's really neat. But the thing is, with COVID-19, it's difficult to see Chesterton go through that change, as with any community. But this was a vibrant community that had true small town feel that they always wanted to guard, have always been protective of letting big box companies into the area. But that's their culture. That's what they're bound by. And in a lot of cases, that has spoke well for them. And some have said that's controversial because they could have used the tax dollars. But it's always been a well-balanced, thought-out, progressive thought here. What happens if we do let the bid boxes in? What impact does it have on some of the small family-owned businesses in the area? So it's something we've grown to appreciate Chesterton for, and I'm happy we're here. It's I without doubt, I'm now within less than a mile from one daughter and about a mile from the other. So with 4 grandkids, how can I complain, right? And the only problem is I can't see them. Oh man. Oh, except for the pictures they post periodically. Oh man, that's grueling on me. And my hopes are someday I'll be able to hold those little kiddos again, right? Yeah. So that's it. That's all I had for you today. Kind of excited about this new sponsor. Kelly and I, Kelly had this idea of doing something unique that we've never done in one of our ads before, and you'll see that. Brings out the real relationship between myself and Kelly, okay? For those of you who are wondering, yeah. So outside that, that's about it. Next week we've got some things coming up. I'm going to be working on programming this week for next week. A lot of it, we're really running through some interesting things. Some people we never thought of before that coming on our show that it's just kind of shocking to us. And one thing I do want to say is we've been blessed recently. We now have a publicist that is working with us to get her clients on our show. Some of them are authors, some of them are public speakers, and we've seen this great group up in the Madison, Milwaukee area now that they have an interest in our show up there because we love highlighting people from that area, and that happened by happenstance. Just we didn't plan it. It's just organic growth. That's one thing that I guess I'm happy about in our growth, although it's not by any leaps and bounds. It is organic, and we didn't have to pay for it. We boost ads periodically, but so many of the large media outlets went out and paid for those likes, and to get when you get that many, you wonder how. And they initially started out by promoting their social media platforms. And that's one thing that we've done, but only by people who've been on our show and our friends and people who appreciate our show content, is they helped us promote the show. And my hat's off to them and a word of thank you to them, because it's something that, we just, and we don't have that type of money sitting around to put a couple $100 into Facebook ads and that type of thing. We placed ads here and there, but nothing of great consequence. So that's one thing that I'm happy about, and we've had this organic growth, and but that's it. Just want to talk about that, and can't wait for you to see this ad. So with that, I'm going to roll right in and say goodbye to you all. Have a very, very nice day. We'll see some of you back here at 11, and then again at 2, and then at 11 tomorrow morning. Please tune in, because we're finally going to get the mother and daughter team that rides through Griffith. Unfortunately, last time something popped up at the last minute. We had to cancel the show. No worries, that happens all the time. And so we're hopefully going to get them on tomorrow and have an interview with them as they ride through the streets of Griffith. And with that, we'll say goodbye for now.
This episode of The Bill and Callie Show is brought to you by
Holy moly, look at this.
Shh! Be quiet!
But this is important stuff.
Look, there's nothing more important than what I am doing right now, reading Another Mystery by local author Susan L. Perry. I have already finished these, and I've ordered her newest book, The Proof is in the Pudding, on Amazon.
Really, you need to look at this.
Shut up!
Alrighty then.
Alrighty then. For these and other books by author Susan L. Perry, you may order them at Amazon.com or from your local bookstore. For more information about the author, visit her website at www.susanlperry.com.